Hello, welcome to another episode of Music and Words Unite. I am your co-host Troy, and with me I have my friend and co-host Mark. How you doing, Mark?
What's up, peeps?
And today we are going to be reviewing a brand new album by the prog rock group Edensong. Now, if you've seen our previous videos at all, you've seen that we often do review prog music. And so why not review? And we've been going back and doing King Crimson Records and Dream Theater and all these great prog bands. But why not talk about new prog, right? Some folks trying to carry the torch for progressive rock out there. And that one of those groups is New York-based Edensong. Now, I don't know too much about them. In fact, they do have a wiki page. I did look at that. But I don't know. I mean, when I tried to get this record, they didn't release a vinyl. I couldn't find. I think they did release a CD. I couldn't find the lyrics anywhere. Maybe they're on the CD. That could be. So I'm thinking. I don't know if this is an independent album. I'm not totally sure if it's like label driven or independent. It seems to me independent. But either way, the first thing I'll say, Mark, before we get into each track, is I have never listened to an Eden Song album before. We did review one of their songs, which was Hall of Statues. We reacted to it a couple months ago,
hmm
and that was a song I really liked.
Yeah.
And so I was excited to review this new album. So yeah, Mark, I would say just right off the bat, first listen, one of the things that stuck out to me was that, again, if this is an independent release, right? If it is self-funded, or if it doesn't, I doubt this has a big budget, right? But
hmm
it actually, I thought it was very well produced, well sounding for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So whoever did, if the band self-produced it or whatever, or somebody produced it, I think they did a really good job. So I just wanted to say that right off the bat.
hmm
But without further ado, let's get into the music, Mark. So what
Mm.
did you think of the opening track of A Sense, which is a little guitar intro? Any thoughts about this one?
I mean, you know, sign me up for acoustic guitar, especially if it's like classical sounding too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it all day long. I'll take a full album of it for God's sake. I mean,
There you go.
yeah, it's you got me right there. It's like you're reeling me in with the
Yeah,
with the acoustic.
yeah. I'll play a clip and then we'll talk about it. It's really like peaceful sounding. What a very
hmm
interesting way to open an album, I would say.
hmm hmm
In fact, though, and I'm guessing that I don't know this for a fact because I don't know these guys at all, but I'm guessing that Opeth is an influence of this band somewhat because the second song, "Illusion of Permanence," actually reminds me quite a bit of Opeth,
Okay.
and sometimes Opeth does these like acoustic little intros
Oh
and then
yeah.
like drops in a hard rock thing or a metal thing and then kind of even puts it in the same song. So it reminded me a little bit of that, but I could be reaching. It's just what it reminded me of, though. I'm not saying these guys are, and obviously everyone is influenced by many things, right? And what you're influenced by, you can usually hear in the music, and just that's not a bad thing. That can be a good thing, right? So that's what stuck out to me, though. So why don't we talk about the first song, which is "The Illusion of Permanence"? All right, Mark, you take this one. I'll take the next one first.
Okay. Um, a lot of flute on this song, which is, definitely a good thing because I love flute. It's
Okay.
underutilized. I mean, especially the way it's played on here, it's definitely more like aggressively played. Like
Hmm.
it's interwound through the whole song. It's not
Yeah.
like, like a Genesis song where there's like a flute, like, I don't want to say breakdown, but like a flute little interlude type part, or like even with like Jethro Tull. Like this is like it's like almost like they're playing along with the other instruments. They're like
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, it's a really good prog song. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Hmm.
The instrumentation is great. Like you said before too, like the production is phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I was
really
very
good. Like even
surprised. Yeah.
even like through streaming with headphones, like it's really good. Like
Yeah.
props to whoever did the if you're watching this and and you recorded this and did the production, you did an excellent job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we review a lot. I mean, we just reviewed the recent Ghost album, which pretty much has like some of the best modern production you can get, right?
Hmm.
And most albums don't stack up to that album production wise, right? And I'm not saying this album does either, but considering the probably the vast disparity of money that was spent on those two albums, right? I
Right.
thought that like and think about the new Dream Theater record. The production is fantastic on that, right?
Hmm.
And I'm gonna imagine that album probably costs a lot more money than this album to make. But
Hmm.
that being said, I think what you're saying, Mark, is we keep talking about it, but I mean, shout out to whoever recorded and produced this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's play a clip from it. I have some notes about this one actually, Mark.
Okay.
So I really like the melodies,
Hmm.
and the second verse reminded me a little bit of King Crimson. In fact, and if I say that, that is a compliment, by the way. And it reminded me a little bit of Moonchild. Now I don't know why, Mark. It's so let me play. Let me see if I can find it here real quick.
Moonchild, not the Iron Maiden song, right? Is that what you're
Is it
talking about?
Moonchild, the one on Court of the Crimson
Oh,
King?
oh, Court of the Crimson King. Um,
Yes,
is it Moonchild?
Moon something. I forget the time.
I can't believe I can't think right now. It is Moonchild.
There
Yeah.
you
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, look at me, Mark. Look at
I
me.
don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I went right to Iron Maiden there. That was.
All right. All right. Let me see if I can find that clip. For some reason, this part just reminds me the way the guitars and the rhythm is. You know how in Moonchild it has that middle section, which is really like out there and like
Hmm.
kind of sounds offbeat. It kind of sounds like a little bit all over the place, but somehow it works. It just reminds me of that. When you're listening to this second verse sounds a little unsettling rhythmically, and chaotic, but it is obviously on the beat. So in that way, it reminded me of it. Only I don't know why. I haven't heard that song in a while, but
Right.
anyway, overall, I think the chorus is good. The main riff is I thought it was really good. Let me. Like some of this is a little King Crimson-y, like this part right here. Maybe this is the part I was talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I was hearing some King Crimson in here, a little bit of Opeth, which are all really great influences, right? If those are influences.
Got that flute in there.
Anyway, yeah, the instrumental part is pretty cool in this song. It's different, It's not like flashy guitar playing. It's not like what you would
Right.
typically expect from prog song. It reminds me of older prog music, actually. Which is pretty cool.
Hmm.
All right, I'll go first on the next song, which is
Okay.
"These Old Wounds," which is my favorite song on the album, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, there was quite a few songs that I had like the top tier songs on the album, but this
Hmm.
was probably my favorite.
Okay.
So I will get to the notes first before I play any clips from it. Um, I said it was my favorite track. That was my note. Love the chorus riffs and second half is killer. The second half of this song is like
Mm.
I could put that up against pretty much if you just played it in a playlist with other progressive rock bands that I've listened to a million times, like Dream Theater or other bands. It fits right in. You know what I mean? Like I thought it was really good. And this song has a lot of how should I put it? A little okay. This one's a little bit Opethy and a little bit Tooly, I think. Uh,
Yeah, you think so?
yeah, there was some Tool creeping in. I thought. Let me see if I can find, but yeah. Like this part reminds me of Tool a little bit. What I'm saying, the bass line and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
With little room caught up in my cocoon. Somebody whispers I should pray for you.
So check out this chorus, folks.
When it's not
Here it is.
now my blood's on the altar. The goddess holds me in her rotting arms. Take a look at yourself. Try my best to remember. It's been a minute since my deepest
All right, and then I'm gonna play a couple at the ending of it, which I thought was killer. Let me get.
like all I built was wrong and small. Your words of wisdom almost killed. Heart to heart, you should have
That reminds me of Oprah.
Yeah, yeah.
come on in. The harvest war. Nobody here will do any harm.
So let me ask you, are you familiar with Steven Wilson at all?
Yes, a little bit.
So this album reminds me of his album called The Raven That Refused to Sing, which is a fucking phenomenal album.
Okay.
Amazing album.
Okay.
And this album reminds me a lot of that. It has a lot
Okay.
of the same kind of stuff going on.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's I'm gonna use this word, I'm gonna use it like very like sparingly. It almost has like a whimsical sound to it, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
Like with especially with the flute. Like the flute makes it sound like very
Yeah. For
like
sure.
whimsical. Like this would be playing in like the British like countryside or something, you know, like something
Right.
ridiculous. But but this reminds me a lot of that album, and I don't know
Okay.
if you're super familiar with it, but I
No,
love
I'm
that
not.
album. I
check
love
it
that
out.
album. You should, because it's
Okay.
a great album, and it reminds me a lot of it. And I don't know if they like are they're huge fans of it or not, but a lot of the instrumentation and stuff, like the bass especially, and like other stuff, like it's just really good, man. Like just a
Okay.
really good album. Like it's always very exciting to find like lesser known bands that are just like just really like stun you, you know, when you're listening to it. You're just like, wow,
Right.
these guys are awesome.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of this song, Mark? I've been talking way too much about this, only because my favorite, so I wanted to talk about it.
I
But yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's top 3 for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I got to this song on my first listen, and I was like, I did like the Friday, like you know the movie Friday, where they're like, "Damn!" I kind of did like that when I was listening
Right,
to it.
right, okay.
I was like, "Damn, this is sick."
Okay. Well, yeah. So if you're curious about this album, you know, obviously Mark and I find this song as a highlight. Let's move on to the next song, which is Black Crow, which is quite a bit different. Mark, you want to talk about
Yes.
this one first?
So, in kind of a 180, the first time I heard this track, I was like, what's going on here? This is like a lot different than the last track that I listened to.
Right.
But so like the first half is kind of like, I don't know, it's like almost like a pop song with like the vocals and stuff. The vocals are good, like don't get me wrong, but it's just like there's not really like a ton of instrumentation going on until you get to about like maybe like 2 minutes when it's got like cool like almost like a sequencer in the middle. But then like that the second half of this song is oof, it's killer.
Yeah.
Like once you
Yeah.
get about halfway through and they hit you with that like that Spanish guitar in the middle,
Right.
oh boy! I just wanted to get up and do like some river dance. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
wow. Yeah. I don't know how to do it, but yeah.
I would definitely fall over.
Yeah.
The clapping, the flute, the guitar, like the second half of the song is absolutely killer.
Yeah, it's
Killer.
yeah. And the first half is cool too. It's kind of like a little bit poppy almost.
It is. It is very
yeah,
poppy.
Yeah, and I
It
thought that
almost
was
reminds
cool.
me.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of like that early 2010 to 2010s like pop music, like pop
Mm.
rocky music,
Mm-hmm.
where they had that like similar, like that very distinct vocal style.
Yeah,
But then it just completely shifts when you get to the second half, though.
I'll play a clip from this transition.
Yeah, the transition.
It's just my
Yeah, just like the sequencer. Yeah. Oh yeah, this part. Almost like a flamenco beat.
Yeah, and the bass is like going crazy too. It's really good. Yeah, this is a cool song. This is a nice change of pace because the first two songs were very progressive rock, progressive metal influence, and this song is like poppy and then some flamenco and some river dance stuff. It's like all over the place, but I like it. It's a nice switch up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The next song, Mark, is the song that we reacted to. And I have to say, after listening to it multiple times now, I did like it on the reaction, but I definitely like it more after listening to it more times, and which is pretty typical of pop music. I mean, not pop music, prog music, excuse me. Pop
You're
music.
stuck on
usually-
the last.
yeah,
track.
yeah. Pretty typical of prog music, where the more you listen to it, the more you like it if it's good prog, So yeah, I mean, my notes about this one were. The Black Crow song. It has you know what a vocoder is, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds to me like it has a vocoder on it, and you don't hear much music with that anymore with the vocoder. There was a pretty popular song which was by Imogen Heap, which let me play a clip because I don't know, I'm just Imogen Heap, but so check this out.
what the hell is going on?
That's a vocoder, basically. And yeah, go ahead.
The band Kraftwerk probably uses one too, because that sounds like what they sound like.
Yep. And if you listen to this Black Crow song,
This once young idiot still
Yep.
it has that. To me, it sounds like a vocoder. I don't know.
It does. It does sound like a vocoder. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, enough about this one. Going to the Hall of Statues. So, this song, I don't know if not all of it is, but this song, a lot of it's. I think the main groove is in 6/8, and so for those who don't know what that means, it is an odd time signature, which is to me. It's one of my favorite like odd time signatures to have a groove in. It doesn't sound jarring like other odd time signatures like 7/8 does. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But basically, it's just a way of counting music, and it's just not typical. Basically, timing. But the point is, I'm a sucker for 6/8 grooves, and so I'm gonna play a clip of what I'm talking about. So basically, maybe this is an interesting one for the audience. If you count this, most music goes 1, 2, 3, 4, over and over and over again, right? But if you count this, I'll count it. Basically, you just count the 6 and repeat. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a 6/8 groove, basically. It's not typical. It's an odd time signature, but I just happen to like grooves in 6/8. Rush used to use a lot of them. Dream Theater uses a lot of them.
Genesis.
Yeah. So, and they use a lot of other odd time signatures too, but that's more of a groovy
Yeah.
one. It's like
Like 9/8.
yeah.
Have you ever heard 9/8 before?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, check this one out. These walls. Okay.
Any
So-
excuse to play Dream Theater. Huh?
There you go. Listen to this. Hold on. It's one of my favorite like modern 6/8 grooves.
This is so hard for me.
5, 6. That's 6/8 right there, right? And of course they switch it up because they go
The words to
one,
say.
2. They do 3 bars of 6/8 and then 1 of 5/8. That's it. That's how they Dream Theater, they go crazy. But the point is 6/8, big fan. Edensong, good job on that one. Anyway, but my favorite part of this song probably is the second verse. And speaking of Dream Theater, I wrote down that it has Learning to Live vibes. So in the second verse of Learning to Live, if it has this, how should I put it? This kind of metal where the guitar and the double bass interlock, but it does these kind of odd patterns. And it sounds really epic. And if you listen to this, it just reminded me of it. This part.
We cast our light. We cast our light as luminaries upon the ancient vaults above. When did our bond become a reliquary and not a living, breathing light?
Anyway, it's a really cool verse. And the second half of the song is really cool too. It kind of breaks down into, instead of going into solos, it has a nice breakdown. And it's kind of peaceful. And then it sounds very epic to the end. So I'll play it.
This all will
A little bit of Tool influence there. That's why I picked that. Like Lateralis. Anyway, the point is, and by the way, just because I'm mentioning other bands, I don't mean it to sound like a criticism. It's actually a compliment because if you can play something and I like it, and then if I don't think, oh, it's not just a ripoff, it sounds like you're just influenced by something, and it's just something that I like, and I would be influenced by too. I just relate to it, is what I'm saying. So I just think it's, and maybe I'm totally off on it. By the way, that's just what I got from it. So, Mark, what did you think of this song?
I mean, I remember when we listened to it, a little bit ago. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got a lot of cool grooves, like you said too, and I do like it a lot. A pattern that I've noticed on this album is a lot of the songs like start off like kind of like it's kind of like a ramp up effect. You know what I mean? Like they start off, they like got this like cool little like intro or like singing part. Then they got like a middle part where it's like either like a groove or it like ramps up a little bit. And then like the end of the track is just like they just go all out basically. And that's like kind of how this track follows too. Maybe to a lesser extent than the other tracks, but there's a lot of cool like grooves on this song. Again, flute. You got flute on there, I'm interested. You got acoustic guitar, I'm interested. It's a really good like middle ground song, I think. Like it's really good. It's not my favorite on the album, but it's definitely a solid track.
Okay. It's not my second favorite either. My second favorite we haven't gotten to yet, but I do really like it. To me, it was maybe my third. I don't know. It's up there. That's what I'm saying. It's up there, third or fourth.
Okay.
All right. The next one is Book of Complaints. All right, Mark, you can start. I started the last one.
Okay.
What did you think of this one?
So again, this song definitely follows like the criteria like of what I said before, how it starts off. This one starts out with like a guitar riff that
Hmm.
sounds really. It reminds me of the band Muse. I don't know if you're familiar with Muse at all.
Yes, I
Um,
know. Yep.
it sounds like a cool like alt rock like guitar riff like to
Yep.
start out the song. Um, it's like and it keeps it goes for a little bit, and then it's got a nice singing part. And then I mean, like just like I said, like you get to the middle, there's a guitar solo, and then there's just like a really cool like ending part, like it's just nice singing, like flute. It's got a nice flow to it. This is like probably one of the more like would appeal to like maybe more of a mainstream audience, I think, than
Yeah.
like the first two tracks are very progressive and there's a lot of stuff going on.
Right.
Yeah. Like
Right.
that's not a bad thing.
Right.
I love
Yeah.
progressive rock.
Yeah.
But this is like one that I think besides Hall of Statues could also be a single on the album, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah.
Um not and that's not taking away anything from the song either. It's shorter, it gets to the point quicker.
Hmm.
Um and it's got more like appealing vocals in it. It's got a nice, like I said, the guitar solo in the middle is nice.
Yep.
It's good, man. It's a good song. It's not overly complex too, is what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying. So
I, I,
yeah, what
I
did you
really
think?
I really like this song. The only criticism I have, and if you've noticed, by the way, folks, we haven't really criticized anything on this album. We haven't said a negative word about it because I actually think it's a very good album.
Hmm.
My only critique of this is it's a different singer, and I just prefer the other singer. That's really the only difference for me.
Hmm.
I just prefer the other singer's voice. So if for some reason you are the singer and you're watching this, I apologize. I meant just giving my thought about it. But like to me, if the main singer was on this one singing it, I think it would take the song to another level. Just my opinion. But overall, I think it's a very strong song. I think it's a very fun song. It's very catchy. Actually, the chorus is very catchy. It's a very well written song. And I can listen to it fine with the singing. It's fine. I just think that it would potentially had if it had the same singer as the other songs, um, you know, it would even be better to me. That's all. Let's play a clip from it. Let's play the beginning, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that reminds me of games.
A pretty nice drum pattern groove there, and
Hmm.
then it goes into this in the chorus, a very straight ahead, almost 90s
Like alternative rock, right?
90s alternative rock groove, I
Hmm.
would
Yeah.
say,
Hmm.
which is a good thing, by the way. That's not a
Yeah. Oh
criticism.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, big fan of 90s alternative rock.
Hell yeah.
I got this book of complaints, writing every day. That's how I know exactly what you said to me that morning 7 years ago. After a million years, I wipe away my tears and look at my battle scarred face in the mirror and say I like you just the way you are.
Yeah, it definitely has like a 90s alt rock feel to it, which I like actually.
It's definitely the
Yeah.
poppiest song on the album, I think.
Yeah, it's a poppy song. I think the song is very well written. I mean, I already gave "I Don't Want to Be the Dead Horse." That's just my opinion as far as the singing goes. But I believe actually that I think I could be wrong. I think the bass player is the one singing, and I think he wrote this song. So shout out to you because it's actually a very good song. It's just personal preference of like singers, of
Hmm.
course. It's the old Mark. We were going back. Speaking of Dream Theater, Charlie Dominici and James Labrie. In fact, Mark, there are songs. There's one song, and only one song, that Charlie Dominici sings that I prefer his voice over James Labrie, actually. And so sometimes,
Mm.
but the rest of them I don't. So the point
What
is,
song?
Status Seeker.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So, okay, you know it, right? But every other song I prefer James LaBrie. The point is, it's just a my point of saying that is, it's just a preference, right? It's just a preference thing for those singers. So, all right. And James LaBrie, like, obviously he's older now, but I mean, younger James LaBrie is like one of my favorite all-time singers. You know what I mean? And there's still a song which I prefer Dominici on. So there you go. It's just a preference thing. Okay, the next song is just an interlude, basically, like similar to the first one, except it's a little more. How should I put it? I don't know what the word is, but it's different than the intro. But let's get to the next real full song, which is Weichler. Weichler. It sounds like Wickler Basket or Weichler Basket. I don't know how to pronounce this to be clear. So something like that, which is an instrumental. What did you think of this instrumental, Mark?
What did I think of this instrumental?
Yes.
I fucking love this instrumental.
Okay.
Okay, this is
Okay.
probably my favorite track on the album, honestly.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh, that I
I
didn't
mean,
expect.
from
Okay.
start to finish, it fucking packed of shit, man.
Yeah.
It goes full force right from the get go.
Yeah.
It starts off with like I don't even know if it's tapping or what, but it's just
hmm
going ape shit to start
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And then it's got amazing violin on it. The flute on this song is like aggressive. This song really reminds me of that Steven Wilson album.
Okay.
Although that the Steven Wilson album isn't as aggressive as this,
hmm
it has a very similar feel to it. But this song, man, like, oh my god, the first time I put this on, I was just like, whoa, I was not expecting this. I especially it's an instrumental too, like, because I don't think you could put vocals on this song. This is almost like a showmanship piece,
hmm hmm
like let's make the most wild track we can with like all
Right.
different like chord changes and time signature changes and just like breakdowns, and like the guitar on that song sounds great. I love it, man. This is the song I listen to I probably listened to this song like 5 times.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a song. It wasn't my favorite, but it was a highlight for me. Yeah, I
Mhm.
definitely really liked it. Yeah, nothing but good things to say about this song. I'll play a clip from it. What? Wrong song. Sorry. Here we go. It's so funny when the flute comes in. It just sounds so different than most normal things I listen to, which is pretty cool actually. It just gives it a totally different vibe.
Yeah, totally.
And as you said, the way they use the flute is just kind of like another guitar, another instrument.
Yeah.
It's like it has that more metal feel to it than a flute, which is weird to say, but I don't know how
I
to
would say,
it, yeah.
like, if
Yeah.
Ian Anderson, and he may have, if he heard the
hmm
flute on this song, he would be, praising it, because
Yeah.
this is like, that flute is like Ian Anderson, like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
the flautist is going crazy, man. It's awesome.
Check this out. It's like violin thing.
Might be electric violin.
Okay.
That flautist is like shooting like poison arrows out of that flute at you. That's how aggressive he is.
I mean, this song is just kick-ass song. I mean, maybe it is the
Yeah.
best song. I don't know. It's very good. It's very good.
I base it off
yeah.
of like my wow factor when I first hear it,
Okay.
repeated listens, and just
Mhm.
like the amount like that I like actually like pay attention to it, like
Mhm.
more than anything.
Yeah.
And this song had my attention like every listen. I was like, damn, like what's going on here?
So,
So
yeah. So, Mark, totally agree. It's a great song. So let's get to the last song, which is the title track, which is "Our Road to Dust." I I'm trying to find my notes for it actually. Yeah, this song, this probably second or third favorite song actually.
yeah, me too. This
Yeah.
might be the last song that Weichler Bass is probably number one. This is
Hmm.
probably number two for me.
Okay. Why do you say
This
that? What stuck out to you about this one?
um well, other than being the longest track on the album, so it's classified as like an epic track.
Hmm.
Um there's a lot of shifts in this song. Like it's it's got like a lot of good stuff like for a prog song, you know, like it's got like the nice calm singing parts which I really like a lot. It's got chaotic music. It's just a really good like epic track, you know, if you
Yeah,
want to use
yeah.
that word. Um
Gotcha.
like it's a good culmination too, you know, like it kind of like takes all of like the other songs and kind of just makes like a long nice track at the end that like incorporates all of the stuff that they did already.
Yes, totally
Um
agree. Yep.
yeah, so
An
I
epic
like the
ending.
the
Yeah.
outro. Yeah, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say the
yeah.
outro is awesome too. Yeah.
It's like
What
the quintessential prog rock album ending. Like you just have this epic sounding. I mean, you can think of many prog. Like we've talked about "Learning to Live" on a previous song. "Learning to Live" has that total like sing along epic ending. You know what I mean? And it reminds me a
hmm
little bit of that. I mean, there's a million prog rock songs that have a similar type of epic ending. Maybe I'll play a clip of it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like the epic like prog bands from the '70s have some kind of really cool outro,
Hmm.
like the outro for say like Close to the Edge.
Hmm.
This kind of reminds me a lot of that.
Okay.
Um, like the outro for even like 2112.
Right.
That's like that's more like science fiction based outro,
Right.
but like it's still like chaos and like some kind of like cool melody playing throughout. But like a good outro is very important for like a progressive rock piece, and
Yeah.
this song definitely has it.
Totally agree. So let me play a clip of that outro real quick.
Dance with me,
Let's see.
escort.
Here we go. Guess what, Mark? 6/8. Let's see.
Look at that.
Let me. I just counted it. Let's say.
Look at that.
Let me count it. I'm gonna turn the volume down and count it. We'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. Let's see. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's 3 bars of 6/8 and maybe 1 bar of 4/8, I guess. But so yeah, that 6/8 feel, man, it has like a really nice groove to it for an odd time signature. So I thought the song was great, like front to back. I actually wish I had the lyrics. I mean, obviously I can listen to the lyrics, but having being able to read the lyrics would be helpful for just understanding some of the trying to dive into some of the meanings behind the songs and things like that.
Sure, sure.
Otherwise, I'd have to sit there and describe the lyrics and things. But anyway, while I'm listening to it, but yeah, overall, Mark, what did you think of this album?
um, you know, like just with like modern rock music, like modern progressive rock, like isn't as dead as rock music, but like you strive for like these cool releases to come out,
Hmm.
and this is definitely one of them. Like this
Okay,
is the musicianship on this album is like chef's kiss,
right,
like
right, right.
like these guys are seasoned musicians, guys and girls, excuse me if there's any
Hmm.
girls on there. They know what they're doing.
Right.
They're playing with grace and excellence on this album. and I'm sure they're all seasoned musicians, and
Hmm.
like it's a very coherent piece. It's not overly complex like some of these progressive bands. It's accessible to somebody,
Yeah.
especially somebody who maybe first like would be getting into progressive rock. Like it's a very solemn undertaking to get into progressive rock because it's very overwhelming. If you have no musical knowledge, you're lost
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
um you have to have like some kind of musical knowledge, and I think this album, with like its catchy melodies and vocals and the guitar parts and even like the flute and stuff, like if you're new to progressive rock, like you could pick this album up and I think you'd really like it a lot.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I hope this band goes on to be very successful. Prog rock success is different than other rock success. It's all relative, right? But to me, success in prog rock is you can make a living doing it. To me,
Right.
because there's only like how many prog rock bands are, none of them are like super rich. You know what I mean? But even probably the most popular one has made the most money, like Dream Theater, I would guess. So I
Oh,
mean,
you
recently,
think? Oh, recently? Okay, I
yeah,
was gonna
yeah.
say you think
I
more
mean,
than like Rush and
no,
stuff,
no,
or
no, no. Rush is way more popular. I'm saying in the modern era, right? That's what I'm
okay,
saying.
yeah.
Like in the modern era, the last 30 years or so, right? Basically, even them, right? They're nowhere near as like successful as other bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Money wise and popularity. So the point is, like, that's the Dream Theater in the modern era is kind of the ceiling, I would say, for prog music currently, unless somebody could break through it. And I don't know what I'm saying. I just wanted these guys to be successful. I guess that's just a long way of saying, may you be at least as successful as Dream Theater, if not more, so in the future. That's all I can say, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
all I can say. Yeah.
Unfortunately, in the music industry these days, the most talented musicians aren't necessarily the ones that make the most money or the most successful, which is very unfortunate.
Right.
Um, but like, you know, and unfortunately, progressive rock and progressive metal has a lot of like gatekeepers these days too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it can be a very arrogant genre of music because it's very musically based.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have a record like this, um, which really shows that they have the musicianship and the accessibility to like for first listeners, especially with the track like Book of Complaints, or even
Mm-hmm.
like Black Crow, like those like partially could be considered like pop songs in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now the second half of those songs, like that's another story, but
Right.
I just think that like these guys and girls, if willing, could definitely make it, with this kind of album. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's a solid ass album. Great job.
Yeah, and I hope someone, again, I don't know if they're a label, but I hope someone maybe on a major or on a prog label like picks them up and really promotes them, and maybe
Yeah.
even gives them more money for the next album. Because if this was a lower budget, I don't know if it is, but it's just a guess. But how good they got it to sound with the current budget, imagine if they had more budget. Imagine if they had a backing of like a bigger label. I think this band could really, take off in the prog scene. So hopefully they do now without it, to be fair to them.
Right.
So yeah, nothing but positive things overall to say about this album and this band, and keep up the great work,
Mm-hmm.
guys. If any of you happen to watch this, keep up the great work. So, and I would love this is a band I would go see live. I would,
Sure.
yeah, sure, be happy to see them live. Hopefully they tour and stuff. So, all right, well, until next time, folks. If you like this episode, please give us a like. If you want to comment, if you want to talk about this band, please, leave in the comments. If you want to request something, an album review or reaction, feel free to leave a comment. And we would really appreciate it if you've made it this far in the episode. Maybe you're one of the people who could subscribe. So we would really appreciate that too, because we do put out a few videos a week and we're trying to grow our reach because we'd like to build a community of music listeners like yourself who just like to geek out and talk about music. So, all right, Mark. Well, thank you again. And until next time,
Always a pleasure.
see you later.
See you guys.